folks, it's Kikoskia here, and welcome back to Let's Play Betrayal at Crondor. And when last we left off, we'd finished with our business in Malik's Cross, and now we need to go to Darkmoor, do some barding and a bit of selling, and then make our way back to Crondor. I know, we've spent all this time getting away from Crondor, but we were told that the ship's captain we might want to speak to is probably in Crondor. I'm not sure if that person's actually going to be there or if that's just a bit of fluff, but it's worth looking up, and while we're there, we can go and check out Sarth and see if there's any spells that we want. So we want to go this way, and we also want to do a bit of resting because it is quite dark. We're not going to gain any health, but that's fine. Now let us stick to the road and zoom! Zoom at the speed of quick. And before we know it, we are here in Darkmoor, and we want to get ready our barding. You still have a long way to go, Gorath, though you are on the cusp of getting to 50%. And your skill wasn't that high in barding when we started off. Then again, we were in Chapter 1, and Chapter 1 does seem like a long, long way away. Here is the inn, and here is the loot. Owen played. His fingers slid easily over the lute's fingerboard as he moved between chords of this kingdom mine, the notes filling him up as well as guiding him forward. Quietly, he began to sing the refrain. This kingdom mine, with my blood I've paid, to guard against all who oppose her. That was beautiful. 110 sovereigns. Well, that pays for all of the travelling we're going to be doing. And the party's barding has increased. Not Owen's, but yours did. And yours did too, to 50%. The biggest thing that we got in Malik's Cross, though, was some more stuff to repair equipment, because we actually ran out of all that stuff. Which surprised me, because I expected the game to give me a lot more of that, but it happened. Right, let us go here, and we want to sell. We also want to have your haggling selected. We want to sell this book. Chapels, Rumour, and Weapons. We'll sell it for 123 sovereigns and 7 royals. That is a fine, fine deal. Alright, let me get some haggling done. I can get some good deals on pretty much everything. I mean, we could have bought a hammer here, but apparently they don't want to sell to me. Something about my reputation precedes me. I mean, that is true. I am Senior James, the esteemed sword fighter. Apparently I'm really good with a rapier, or so people say, but I just use any old sword, really. I mean, it all works. As long as I can stab them and they stop living, that's all that matters. Doesn't seem like any of these things are available. Apparently they're all being held for somebody else. Well, fine. Won't buy any of your stuff then, but I'll be back. Oh, you want to bet I'll be back? We are at 92% haggling with you. At some point, I probably just want to sit down and get you to 100%. But not right now. We could also see if you have anything to say. Let's see if you have anything different to say. Hello, Senior James. What brings you back here? We came back to check on where you sold the Scuttle Hand. Oh, we've already done that. That I did. I just wanted to check again before I went and made a fool of myself. Thanks again, Lysol. I thought you might have something to say about the nighthawks, but clearly not. Ah well, let's go this way. This should probably... Yep, Crondor's another 4 days from here by my guess. Anyone think of a good reason not to go that way? No. So let's go. We are now pretty much back at Crondor. Yay, Crondor! I bet you all missed it. I'm sure you all missed Crondor. Well, here we are, back at the capital. Now let's pop in. Let's go to the shop. This one here, just so that we can select our barding skill, because we're going to be doing some barding. I mean, there is a tavern here. We also get to hear the fantastic music once again. So, we're going to exit, and find the inn, and there's the loot. Owen played. His fingers slid easily over the lute's fingerboard as he moved between chords of This Kingdom Mine, the notes filling him up as well as guiding him forward. Quietly, he began to sing the refrain. This kingdom mine, with my blood I've paid, to guard against all who oppose her. That was beautiful. 198 sovereigns! Also, there's you. Good day, said James. Without turning his attention towards them, the man responded. I normally enjoy talking to travellers, but today I'd rather enjoy my ale. Very well then, James replied, heeding the man's wishes. Perhaps we will return at another time. And that's the innkeeper, and there's you. James cleared his throat. Glancing up from the business of cleaning his fingernails with a boot knife, the man regarded him frostily, motioning with the tip of his knife for them to quickly make their business known. That's a very nice knife. Keshian, isn't it? James commented carefully. Where did you chance to purchase it? The man smiled, showing uneven brown teeth. Who said I bought it? Ah, Gorat said, taking hold of Owen's shirt sleeve. Well, I think my companion here promised me a drink before we came in, and I think it's well nigh time I collected on it. Good day to you. Perhaps we can speak again. So we can't do anything there. The gate master let the men announce the small party. They escorted them to the enclosure of the Crondorian palace. So we can just go into the palace whenever we like. James! Signor James, at your disposal, lady. I'm sorry if I have interrupted you. No, actually, I'm quite pleased to have you here, James. Things around the palace have become very peculiar. Prince Arutha hadn't held a court in weeks, and Pug has been locking himself up with Makala and our daughter Gamia discussing who knows what. And you feel left out of the circle, is that it? I suppose I have been privileged, spoiled even, in the past because he has entrusted me with whatever he was thinking. He's shown me things that I could never have imagined, yet now he's hiding something from me. At some level, I'm almost inclined to think that something is frightening him. Frightening Pug? Gods, I don't like the sound of that. May I speak to him? I wish you could, but he has gone to our academy at Stardock. I don't know when he plans to return. To make matters worse, when I went to see Prince Arutha, he sent word that he couldn't speak to me because he was busy with matters of state. That's not at all like him. No, it isn't. But I have a few suspicions about what this may all mean. First, there are a few things I need to know. I'm at your service. Ooh. Do you think you could deliver a message to Prince Arutha for me? I can certainly try. What is it? Tell him that we haven't reached the Black Sheep Tavern in Romney as yet, but I will send word to him as soon as I can. I don't think that will be too much of a problem. I will see he gets it as soon as he returns. Has anything happened in Crondor since I left, or has the whole town closed up of boredom waiting for me to return? Nothing unusual, really. The most exciting thing I've heard is that there appears to be an outbreak of Quegian fever in some of the ports, but they don't expect things will get too serious. The priests from the Temple of Sung have sent men down to Padox to deal with any cases that show up there, and the palace guards have been advised to keep a lookout for anyone who seems to be suffering from delusions. They think it will be contained in the areas north of Crondor. And then this. If Prince Arutha isn't here, then he must have already begun. Begun what? Sorry, I was thinking aloud. If you would, do you think you could tell him something for me? It's fairly important that he hear it. What's the message? Tell him that the party in Romney was cancelled because our host took ill, and now we're looking for his pet parakeet that flew away. As soon as we find the perch, we will meet him for tea at Mother's. I'm not sure I understand. But the prince will. I don't mean to be mysterious, but it's better that only we two know what's going on at the moment. And that's it. Nothing else we can do here, so let's exit. And let's do a bit of haggling, because we can. Why don't we? And that means, of course, you got a point. That's not surprising. That means, of course, switching that out and switching that. You're at 41%. Right. This is a place where we absolutely don't want to buy. And also, this is just cheaper here. All this is just so much cheaper here. Now, let's haggle away with all of this. And I might actually make a purchase. Because if memory serves, you have to pay to play chess with emeralds. And we don't have an emerald. But I'm pretty sure we can buy an emerald here. And even if we don't, I'm sure they'll be useful for something at some point. And we do have lots and lots of money. Now, we have had emeralds in the past, and I have decided not to keep them Maybe I should have kept them. Either way. Ooh, they also sell aventurine. But then again, we do have some of that. We do have some. So we'll just haggle our way through all of this. And, ooh, still a few things that we can haggle for. Like these shells. And then we'll exit. And we'll go to the other shop, which is Touchstone Gems, which has this 100% emerald. Do I want to haggle for an 100% emerald? We can get it for a small discount, but not a massive discount. Really, I want to haggle for this with somebody with a bit more haggle, don't I? Yes, probably you. Okay, that really didn't make a huge difference, but, we'll buy it, I suppose? I mean, I think we do need emeralds. There are other gem stores, but we'll buy it. This is when it's rubies they go for and not emeralds. But either way, we have an emerald now. And you never know, we might need it. From what little he had learned from gem dealers at trading fairs, the emerald had been prepared in a navette cut. Beyond that, he wasn't certain what the actual value of the gem would be until he attempted to sell it. We're probably not going to make much money off this, but then again, we might be able to use that gem to get another gem, and that would be pretty good. Okay, let's now do a bit more haggling, and get this all improved. And hey, if we end up not needing the emerald, and it was in fact rubies, then, oh no, we only have 7,356 sovereigns. Whatever will we do? I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll panic. Because clearly we don't have enough stuff. I also feel like buying a key of lineages. I just feel like this is something we should buy. So let's think about buying a key of lineages. We'll buy a key of lineages. I don't know if we're ever going to need it, but there it is. Key of lineages. Unavailable, unavailable. Everything is unavailable now. Okay. So, with that done, James's haggling is improved. What's it improved to? 94%! You know what? We might actually just go for, like, the final push and get him to max haggling. And then haggling at Crondor will be done. Don't have anything we can get rid of in your inventory there. Let's save, because I haven't saved yet. I've saved after buying a really expensive gem that we're probably never gonna need, but hey, if we don't end up needing it, it'll be a souvenir of our adventures. Okay, Sarth is just up the way. There may even be an encounter or two that we can get involved in. Maybe. Okay, Sarth is still a... Oh, it's quite a ways up, actually. It's quite a ways up, me. Let's keep going. This is when we accidentally stumble into an encounter. There is a temple. There's that bag that we just left there. Ah! A bird shot into the sky. Searching the landscape. Ah! I think we might do well to pay attention to that little creature. Whatever startled it may be close at hand. If we continue in the direction we're currently headed, I suggest we do so with great caution. Owen's scouting increased. Right, we have a combat. Owen's abilities have just increased too. Which other abilities have gone up? His stealth. Did we... party stealth improved. And we then triggered the encounter. Okay, we actually kind of wanted to trigger the encounter so that we could get some more experience and do things. You know, I'm actually going to have you hit this. Haha! Okay, that did not work, but you're down. Yeah! A fine hit. Aha! Clonk. Yeah, these pirates are not really a problem anymore. Ho ho! Not a problem anymore. You can do an overhead swing too. We're gonna have you move over here just to block in this person completely. Yep, you're trapped and gone. That was not very difficult. Okay, your stealth went up. Your stealth went up. So basically we got an absolute load of stealth there. Now, I'm not going to say no to loads of stealth improvements. Also, I really don't know if we need the, that anymore, but we're going to leave these bodies where they are just for the moment, and go and see if the brother is in the fields. I want to have a chat with him. Is he here? Brother Marc hove into view. Wielding a hoe in his hammy fists, he gestured to James with it. Glad to see you, but I'd advise a bit of distance at the moment. There's been an outbreak of Quakian fever at Sarth, and I'm not sure if I'm carrying it or not. How could you not know? Every 5-year-old boy in Tyburn could recognize the warning signs. In Tyburn, perhaps they could, but as I might point out, this is not Tyburn. I thought the brothers of Ishop and Sarth were supposed to know everything. Perhaps we will someday, Ishop willing. But let me tell you something. When I was about your age, I discovered a miraculous thing about planting. For years I kept a journal about the things that I had learned as I had scratched in the dirt. One day, shortly after my acceptance into the Brotherhood of Ishop, I was going over some of my notes, and I made a miraculous discovery. It would change the way that farmers grew crops forever. I was so excited that I decided I would share this great secret with the world, and I padded off to the nearest town with my journal proudly stuck under my arm. Did the farmers use your technique? Oh yes, they had been using it for over 300 years. My humble tricks were childish speculation next to what the farmers already knew. My point is this. If our brethren in Malec's Cross have something that they consider common knowledge, it might remain uncommon knowledge to the rest of us for years, because they assume we should already know it. Like any other portable good, knowledge must be collected and given out. That, my friends, is the primary reason that Sarth exists. Oh, we can ask about nighthawks! Would you have anything up in the Abbey about the Guild of Death? As I recall from when I visited your abbey years ago, your collection of books was quite extensive. I wanted to find out how it is that some of them become black slayers. No need to search the vaults. Many of them worship Kahuli, who occasionally will grant them a near-deathless state in exchange for total dedication to the god of revenge. It took us a while to learn the spells that keep a nighthawk from rising from death. There is a spell? We thought you had to hack the body up and burn it to bits. An unpleasant solution, and time-consuming. After the Great Rising was over and the Mordhel went home, we were able to work with the priests of Lim's Cragma to create a spell to keep a nighthawk from becoming a black slayer, or to keep a black slayer down once he is slain. If you like, I can probably dig up the spell in the vaults. Are you interested? There will be an 100 sovereign fee. That is probably a huge discount. Yes! Considering I may be running into the Guild of Death soon, I think it would be a wise investment. I will be as quick as possible. Please wait here. They waited. When at last it seemed the priest was never going to return, he appeared waddling down the hillside, a beribboned parchment missive stuffed beneath one of his arms. Collecting the money owed him from James, he cheerfully handed over the scroll. We can ask about Abba's turn. I don't suppose among those masses of books you have in the Abbey you would have one on chess, would you? I'm looking for information on a move called Abba's Turn. No self-respecting Keshian library would be without one, and as the Abbey was founded by Keshian wanderers, it stands to reason you have something. Wonderful. If you could dig something up for us, I would be very happy to pay a finder's fee for anything you can find on chess moves. It's a fairly special request, so I may have to spend a while digging, and I do have another project I need to handle this evening. Would you be willing to pay 100 sovereigns? I would! Well, I think in this case it might be worth the expense. I will see to it your money is well spent. If you will wait here, I will return as soon as I have found something of interest. Although you should have mentioned this to me before you had me run off to go get that spell. The priest returned several hours later. So what did you discover? James asked, his mood improving with Brother Marc's reappearance. Anything we can use? Marc frowned and burrowed in the folds of his robe. I found that there appears to be no difference between Lin Lan, Pashawa, cockfighting, Deat, Pokier, King's Mountain, dice, Shomstone, four hands down, and chess as far as our cataloguing system is concerned. They're all still considered just games at this point. James shrugged. Oh well, nice try. I just wish we hadn't wasted our time. Brother Marc pulled a scroll out from his left sleeve and laid it in James's lap. It was no waste of time. You haven't seen this particular scroll. Pardon? James blinked at the parchment, then at the priest. What do you mean? What I mean is that the scroll in your lap is known as the Saha Belahi, the Victor's Soul. It is perhaps the rarest and most valuable writing on the subject of chess ever put to paper. Unfortunately, it is also exceedingly rare. I get chills just thinking what we had to do to get it. This is our only translation available, and it was the only work I could find with reference to Abba's turn. Read it and quickly, before Brother Anthony finds I've taken it. James smiled and unrolled the scroll, studying all the details of the move carefully. Once he had absorbed the material, he produced the gold he owed Brother Marc. I promise I won't forget your efforts, brother. The priest nodded, then snatched up the scroll. Let's just hope Brother Anthony can. Oh, ho, ho! Seems we have at least a few things to think about. Thank you, Brother Marc. Always a pleasure to help. Come back and visit me again. Perhaps we will. Goodbye. It's dark! But oh my, did we get a lot of stuff just then. We got some good things. We got this scroll of final rest, and we didn't have to pay very much for it. Although he could have wished for better circumstances under which to study it, Owen broke the scroll's wax seal and began to read. After an hour's labouring with the difficult language, he was able to commit the incantation to memory. While the words on the parchment etched indelible patterns in his mind, the scroll grew brittle, then crumbled slowly between his fingers like sun-dried leaves. You now know final rest, which means that we can now deal with the Black Slayers. And we're now below 7,000 gold, but that's fine. And so, when we come back, folks... Did we gain some? No, we didn't. I think we just got a few hits, didn't we? When we come back, folks, we might check out Sarth and see what spells it does have for future reference, so that Owen can invest in the future. Although I get the feeling we might not need any spells for the time being. And then we will check those bodies, head back to Crondor, do some selling, and then work our way back. Because I don't think there's anything else we can do here, and I don't actually think the lead to Crondor actually went anywhere. Oh well, what can you do? And so, I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later.